What is going on today? Well, today is a nice little topic about something I don't feel is entirely important, but yet we're going to talk about why it is important to go through marriage or pre-marriage counseling. Yes, we are. Because I feel that we both know each other. We know what we want out of each other to move forward and have a successful marriage. But when you think that way, you end up finding yourself in the land of the unknown, and a lot of problems end up happening. So,
yes,
we're going through our pre-marriage counseling. So welcome to another edition of the Hot Seat, where we're going to be talking about a very, very important question, and a question that I think about every single morning when I wake up, which is, why am I getting married?
You think about that every morning?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Ever since we started this, I think that's a question I have to be able to answer. Because if I do not have an answer to that question, then I think we have a problem.
Hold on. Let me just say, we've only had 2 counseling sessions. The first one didn't really count. So, since we started this, hasn't really been that long, just so you know.
But it's a great question, though, to really pose. Because if you cannot answer that question, why? Well, I didn't get down on one knee. I technically couldn't, nor was I going to, because I am not traditional. But yeah, if you can't answer that question, why?
But you should have an answer for that question before you actually propose.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So,
but
did you propose and like, oh,
the answer to my question was completely different, because it wasn't in a perspective with 100% God in it, as far as what He sees or wants when 2 people come together as one.
So what were you thinking? The yams?
I mean, they was poking. Gotta have my meats. Gotta have my meats.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Shout out to Big Jaw. Funny videos. Just do an early plug there, but we need to get back to the topic of hand. But
all
yeah.
right. So, why am I getting married? Mm-hmm. Topic of this discussion. What answer have you come up with?
What?
You tell me later? All right. So let's get right into it. We met with Pastor Manuel of Carver.
You sure that's the name of the church?
No, I know that's the name. There's just other words. I always call it Carver.
It doesn't matter. We go to Carver.
Yes.
We go to Carver. We met with our pastor. And that's going to be the man that's going to guide us through this, make sure we're set to go.
Yes.
When the date officially comes, February 20th, 2020. Yes, even the date has significance. But the first topic that we went through was, what was it? What was the first thing we talked about?
Read Genesis 2:18 through 24, and we talked about the creation of woman for man, Eve for Adam, and what God sees marriage as.
So, what did you get from that?
That because woman is made from man, literally in that instance, she is to help him. She is his helper. I'm pretty sure most people who...
Which I think we really need, because we're technically disabled, because we're missing a rib. You took it from us.
First of all, like I said, in that instance, as in the very first making of man and woman, a rib had to be displaced.
That's why we need help.
That instance, not every, just that one there to start.
Slightly exposed over here.
Anyways, like I was saying, that's kind of why you get, or how you get the term of help meet. Help.
Yeah. Or the fact that you woo us, and so gave you the name woman.
We didn't woo.
Adam was wooed. He was like, oh, I like this.
Women do not woo. Men do the wooing of the women, and women accept.
If you say so. If you say so. Well, one thing I think that was pretty cool and defined was the role of the wife, which I think you've said, but I like to give my point of view from it.
His 2 cents.
Yeah, of course. They're valuable.
Very.
Almost priceless.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. We're almost there. So the role of the wife is to be the helper, the helpmate, the one to put in the missing piece to the puzzle, because man cannot do it all alone. But yet, and still, there's got to be unity between the two. Because though it's technically the man's job to provide and protect and be there for the family, he might have a vision or two that he sees fit is best for the family. And so when there's, I guess, unity in that decision, where I am unable or do not have the skills to, because that's my roadblock as far as ensuring we achieve that goal, you're there to plug that piece in there.
Yes.
So I see that as you being the helper to ensure that any end goal that I bring to you or you bring to me is actually, achieved.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what else for reasons I couldn't quite pinpoint, what just popped into my mind about this. Just so you guys know, I was asking a lot of questions. It's just what I do. About this particular portion, how Pastor...
What? It's what you do? Praise?
Praise,
what I do?
praise is what I do.
It's
I
what I
also
do?
ask questions.
It's what I do.
No,
Praise is what I do.
Pastor Manuel also wanted to highlight that although the woman, that which was made from the man, is a helper, God did not allow Adam to name her because she is higher than the animals that he named. Yes, I don't know why. That just
You like that, don't you?
I do.
You
I
like
do.
that.
Yes.
Which
yes.
leads
very much.
me to what the scripture, chapter 2, was referencing in those verses 18 through 24. That it is the I would say I took it as almost as the man's duty, not necessarily the role, because we didn't get into that in our first session. But I saw this, it is the man's duty to lead his family and to prioritize his wife as the number one.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
See. Because though I have 2 kids, I was practicing for her, so I have 2 kids. Yes.
I practiced. You did something totally different.
Well, we're here to talk about the man's duty right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the smelly kind of what I'm supposed to do as a part of this family. But it's to making sure that you're number one. Like, I can't go back and run to the family, because then that just to me indicates that I'm not ready to lead a family. So, and I can't have, in a sense, the kids. No, not in a sense. I cannot have my 2 children, biological, but all 3 together are mine. They cannot be number one, because at some point in time, the bird has to leave the nest.
Yes.
So if I'm so totally focused on them and what it is that they want, and you get left behind, and then when they gone, you gone right along with them. I'm in here by myself. So that's not going to happen, because I waited 17 long years. Yes. So I'm not going to allow that. So that's what I got from that is the man's duty, is to be able to step away in order to lead. Because if I'm always running back, that's a terrible thing, because now I'm inviting people into the home when God made it for man and woman, not men and women's. Not men's and women's, just man and woman. So if that is the case, because the 2 now become one. The foe can't be one, because it's too many. That's too much.
It's not what it was intended.
I know, and I don't think I could personally handle that. Can't be walking around here with 4 wives. You got to be tripping.
I don't know. I know you wouldn't be able to handle 4 me's.
That's easy work.
Right.
That's why we mesh so well.
Yeah, that's why you have extra grays.
Oh, that ain't from you. That was before. That's because I was. You know what? Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next thing because we ain't reflecting on the past like that.
All right, so Proverbs 18 and 22 was the next section.
Let me get to the scripture.
You just lost
Because this was a shorter scripture, so we ain't finna just read. Y'all can reference Genesis.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's the first chapter in the book of the Bible. So let's head over. What is it? Proverbs 18:22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep stuff. Pretty much, it would be out of line for you to get on your bending knee, because it ain't your job to go find. It's your job to, I guess, scroll through the Rolodex and see who. No, I'm just playing. But it's pretty much.
It's my job to wait.
Yes, to wait for the Lord to send the man that has had the courage, the gumption, to patiently wait.
I didn't get the waiting part until later on in life.
Well,
that 17 years. Yeah. 17
So it's pretty much, my job to go ahead and take that step forward, because in the fashion as it should be, when it comes to leading a family, I have to take the step forward. And I have to assess and ensure that all decisions made don't benefit me, but benefit the family. Yes, the family. So yeah, I think that was something I had to take a step back on, because my mindset has been
anti-tradition.
Well, yeah, but then my mindset has been on the kids. Like, kids, number one, they're my responsibility. I have to ensure that they're okay. I'm not with the mothers, so it's just me and kids.
Really?
What do you mean? Don't keep talking.
It's not just me and kids. It's me and kids and work and my other work and the clients that I work with and kids.
We're not cross promoting. This is all about right here.
But that's part of this.
No, it's not. So my whole thing, not to me, no. So because I'm focusing on this alone, I'm compartmentalizing.
First of all, it's not a word.
Okay?
It's not a word.
That's what I'm doing. There are some words I can't say. It's okay. The people understand.
Sorry.
But anyway.
I'm sorry.
I had to, again, it leads back to, the first topic that we went over, as far as I seen the man's duty as putting who he has chosen to be the one and only one, be the number one. So my mind frame, as I was saying, is I have to make sure these kids are okay. That was my number one priority, because it had been for so long, because I was single and setting the routine and felt like this was, what I needed to do. This is how it's supposed to be. Because if I'm over here neglecting them in any type of way, then how am I ensuring that they have a better foundation to build upon than what I have?
Right.
But in actuality, when you make that decision to add someone to your life who is designed just for you, and their role is to help, it just lightens the load.
It does, or
It
at least
lightens
it
the load.
should.
At least, no, it does. At least it should.
Well,
it does.
Some people might think that their one is the one, but it's not actually the one, and so things get not better.
But if you are if you are, how do I want to put this? If you are preparing to be married or in marriage, and you're doing it the way God has designed it, its purpose, and having His perspective, then that's just how it's supposed to be.
Right.
And if it's not like that, then you might want to, do some research, study, do some counseling. Something I thought was unnecessary because there ain't nothing wrong with me, so why I need to get help for it? But it is valuable and eye-opening information, and internally causes my mind to redirect itself and have a newfound view.
Ah.
Yes, a newfound view on what relationships and marriage, future marriage, is supposed to be like. Because I like my peace, so I ain't going to disturb my peace. I got to make sure I have that. Yes, indeed. But when you're obtaining, the only way you obtain God's favor within your marriage, strengthening the connections to where it's almost like a brass chain, is when you're living the purpose of the marriage out in His view. Yes. So that's the way you obtain the favor. As far as what I've learned thus far, you have anything to say? Because you're over here looking like I'm talking out the side of my
No,
mouth.
you're not. It's just it's one of those things where as you're talking, and I didn't really think about it while we were in our session with Pastor Manuel, but now talking with you, it's kind of like,
The next one's gonna be so long now.
yeah.
Why?
Well, just like you said, when you're operating in God's perspective, you attain favor, which, would be abstinence until marriage. We've already bypassed that one, because
We can be transparent, because this is, somewhat the hot seat, so yeah, we failed miserably.
Hush, you have 2 biological children. I have a biological daughter
together,
that's not yours. And together,
you can't keep your hands off me. So, just kidding.
It's opposite.
It's both ways, to
That's
be honest.
true. That's honestly.
But we were demanded to keep your hands off each other. Make sure your hands are in your lap at all times. While we're going through this process, so that way we can ensure, given the past circumstances has already put us on the left foot, at least we can go ahead and ensure as we go through this process, we're on the right foot.
Exactly.
So.
But yeah, I was just.
Yeah. We're doing what we're supposed to do, though.
Came into my head like, oh, yeah.
It is a struggle, I ain't gonna lie, but we're getting better.
Yep. I have seriously increased my prayer time.
By and by. Oh, Lord.
So, the next scripture, or did you have it? You didn't have anything else to say, right?
No, nothing philosophical I can add to that. I don't have many words. I think it's straightforward. I think we can get that one through.
This is also when he was talking about not adding people into your marriage, because he was talking about how God's approval is all that's needed. So you don't really need to ask other people, what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? Which led into the next scripture, which was Matthew 19, 4 through 6.
This or that. That was funny the way you just said that. Reminds me of something.
I didn't even realize I said that.
People who listening, who know who we listen to, know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
No plug on that right now. Yeah, there will. The Love Hour.
All the things.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's
I love
excellent.
it.
Great information, very informative.
Marriage champions.
Helped us out a little bit.
Yes.
So I think we got a direct message when we went to the Love Hour comedy show. Yeah. And that was, had me sweating just a little bit, because I was like, ooh, need to get my act together.
It's okay. I appreciated the eye contact, the one-on-one. It was awesome. Thank you very much.
Yes. So, Matthew, what's the next one? Matthew 19, 4 through
6.
6? Okay. And it reads, He answered, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female? Up, reference back to Genesis. And said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and hold fast to his wife. And the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. Now I want to break this down just a little bit based off of what I got. Unless you want to go first.
No, go, please.
Okay. I
By
get
all
to go
means.
first?
Yes,
Okay.
by all means.
I guess it's good practice because the man has to take the first step. So,
I'm trying.
oh, appreciate it.
That'll be part of our next lesson.
So I like that he that the writer went on and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. I think you referenced it earlier by saying no one is supposed to come, in between. So if I'm running back to the family, I'm inviting them into the household, even though they're not physically here, but their perspective, their mindset and way of thinking is. And now I'm bringing it here, and now we come back and, oh, you can't talk about my daddy like that. You can't talk about my grandma like that. Well, she said this and he said that, and now we over here having problems, and the kids doing all of this, don't know who to listen to, and they're living in a land of confusion. So we don't want that.
No, not at all.
So anything that we have to do, any issues that we come across that, or we may disagree on, guess we got to exit left and have a conversation about it. So when we come back, we're on the same page. And so that encourages us becoming one flesh, unity, understanding, and delivering what it is that we need to the kids that we are raising.
May I?
You shall.
And a large part of that is open, honest, transparent communication, which is our number one communication
you gotta
style.
say it right.
It's
the
open.
hot C. It's honest, open, transparent communication.
Just because you change it so that you can make a whole word out of it doesn't mean I have to change the way I remembered it, because that's how I remembered it in my head.
But that wasn't the initial remembrance you should have, because you throwing in words. It was HTC.
Okay.
Like
so
a model phone.
Hot C, which can also be defined as saying open, honest, transparent communication.
Anyways, so he goes on. So that's us becoming one, and becoming one in all things is not a light switch type of thing. It just doesn't happen on and off or in and out, or
I wish.
it's progress, because our past have contributed to our perspective on life and how we should navigate. So now, with my past and her past being completely different, yet living in the same area, it's powerful stuff. That's crazy. Lived in the same area, went to the same church, somewhat raised in the same way, but when we ventured out of the household, I experienced completely different experiences that has given me a different mindset and perspective on relationships and how they're supposed to be, and also seeing what it is that I saw growing up as far as relationships and how they worked or did not work, how most don't work, or if they are working, they weren't perfect working, we're not going to get into it, but there were issues. And so that just gave me a different perspective, like, oh, okay, I can do this and we can still be together. Oh, okay, that looks like, okay, I can drop or fail or not slip up, whatever, one time and it'd be all right. But it's not all right. it ain't right.
High standards.
So, yeah, one thing that I learned. So, then he said, what therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. God has joined together. Because I think it was only but the Lord. 17 years later. 17, y'all. This could be in the Bible. Just like people walking around the mountain for 40 years. 17 years out here in the world.
Out in the world. In it.
Well, I was
all
in
around
in between
it.
it, flipping it, dipping it, swirling it.
I said, in it.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. Now I got skills that will be with me till the day I die. Anyway.
Moving on.
So, God has joined together, which I really believe that has happened. But yet, though He has already ordained our paths in lives, and already foresaw and knew when we would cross paths, and that will put us on a path together, it is still up to us to ensure that we respect what God has already given each other, which is us, and not let anything on the outside come in and divide us. Yes.
Yes.
And when I say man, ain't no man coming around you. Literally. Because it'll be on and cracking. He gonna be hollering, ooh.
Anyway.
Because he getting popped from the left and the right. Till I ain't got no more strength. So yeah, no, ain't no man or woo man coming in between this. Nope.
Man.
No man, no woman, no brother, no sister, no mommy, no daddy, nobody. Not even the children. Not even the children. So what do you got to say? I'm going to be who I am. They're going to know who I am. This is what you have to deal with.
Every day.
I'm not doing this just for the podcast. I'm just being me.
And it's random too. Yeah. Anyways, yes, this was the portion where we were talking about oneness, and it was stressed, one flesh. And this is also where we talked about, because we are becoming one, it can't be what I prefer or what he prefers, but what's best for the whole household, which is not exactly the very easiest thing, because, well, I'm just gonna say it because we're being transparent, right? He's very stubborn. He is ridiculous. This man here is ridiculously stubborn. Not at all. Not at all. Ridiculously stubborn. I mean, I'm a little stubborn, but whew, it's difficult.
It's a whole galaxy worth.
No, we're pretty much equally set, stubborn, strong-willed people, which, you know, is a good thing, because, you know, we'll never have to worry about one trying to triumph over the other, because we're equal in that sense. But when you're trying to become one, it can be difficult to release that stubbornness, because it's what you're used to.
Think of a human being taking a metal pipe and literally trying to use their own strength to bend it. You're just not going to be able to.
Yep.
That's how stubborn each of us are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is surprising that we don't even argue. We don't even raise our voices. Just, whatever.
Okay, so that's not true. I raised my voice.
Oh, well, yeah. I'd be
did.
like, well, I'm right here. Stop.
I raised my voice because although he's not
Stop it.
deaf,
It's because I'm passionate. Oh,
although
okay.
he's not deaf, it doesn't seem like he's actually listening or hearing what I'm saying.
I might
so
be
I
hearing.
feel
I'm
that,
listening.
you know, I'll just bring it up a notch or so, depending on what it is. And part of it is passion. Because when I really go after something, it's because I really care about it. And yeah, sometimes my voice will express that through different levels of volume. But anyways.
But it's still not an argument, though.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a few arguments.
We have? I
Mhm.
don't remember. What? Don't start.
What is that supposed to
I
mean?
don't remember an argument.
That does not surprise me.
I said don't start. You better cut it out.
We've had a
You're
few
gonna see
about
some
your,
scuffles on the screen.
anyways, about your, your past mentality, which is in the process of being transfigured. So past, we've had a couple, I would say, of arguments about you being reluctant to allow your mindset to be transfigured.
What?
Yeah.
Let's give them one, cause I don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to think of one that I'd say, yeah, this is resolved. All right. So, no. So, again, strong-willed. But trying this oneness, trying to navigate and do those changes some way. So, Pluto will ask me something, my opinion on something, what I want to do, whatever. And then I will...
Here we go.
Yes. And then I will tell him,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, what do you want to do? No, he wants what I want. Okay, so I tell him, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's
he's
supposed
like...
to be what I want.
Yeah, what I want is supposed to be the same as what he wants, even though he doesn't tell me what he wants. So when he finds out that it's different, it's like, no, we're going to do this because that's what he wanted. So I get upset, like, why are you wasting my time asking my opinion if you really don't care about it?
Because you're supposed to have telekinesis.
Which is no.
You're supposed to be working
It's
on
not in the Bible.
the same wavelength.
It's not in the Bible. We're supposed to be on the same page. It doesn't say anything about a wavelength. Anyways, but for me, that is, you're not hearing me. You don't value my opinion because it's like, well, forget what you just told me. We're doing this anyway.
Valued and heard.
Exactly. Also, the love hour. So that, that's something that's been talked about on a number of occasions in, informal counseling sessions with friends, and it's gotten so much better. It took a minute because, stubborn, but it's gotten so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But trust me, when it was not, this apartment was so cold. So cold.
She means the temperature. I like to leave it on 69. Just kidding.
No, it was like 78 in the apartment, but it was cold. There were no protein shakes being made. There were no kisses, goodbye, have a good day at work.
And I want my shakes. Where are they at?
Well, you didn't. Like, it took you 2 days before you drank the first one, so I figured it's probably not something that you really want to do.
It is something I really want to do.
Okay.
My mind's just caught in translation.
Okay.
There's too many things in his head.
But yeah, so that was one of them. Like I said, it's a work in progress. It's gotten a lot better. It will continue to get better. It will be resolved, and it won't be something that he has to think about. It'll become routine, and it won't be an issue or
Yes.
a problem anymore.
You will have the Xavier abilities and be able to read my mind. And then when I'm thinking, you will be saying.
Yeah.
And we'll be good. Right?
Yeah, I've also already made it clear that I'm not working on telekinesis. It's just communication. Talk. Tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't ask.
Well, I'll be doing that solely because I think this that I'm presenting to you is so fire. Even though there are other options, there is one that is so fire. I'm like, she is going to choose that one because I'm feeling that one. And then you go all the way to the left. And I'm like, why did you make that? What?
And
No.
as I've told you, I am Aquia Harper. You are Floydell Wilson. I am not Floydell Wilson. I am Aquia
Second.
Harper. Yes, excuse me, Floydell Wilson the second. That is not me. Aquia Harper. two separate brains. Okay? No. But like I said, it's getting better. He is learning that it is okay for me to have a different opinion. It's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think that was pretty much it. We started going further in our counseling session.
But we'll save that for another episode.
Because we didn't really get to wrap it all up because all of my questions, so yeah.
We didn't even get to start it. Let's just put it like that.
We read the first verse of the first 5 verses of the
we read
9 of them.
We didn't even talk about, and you have
I said we read.
It looks like 9 words that are stretched out. She got the smallest medical writing in the world.
You gotta make it fit.
No, you have all of that paper.
No, but we still have all of these.
It's literally words smaller than a termite.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's like
Okay.
a microorganism.
No, it's not. Then we would be able to see
so
it.
minuscule. Even with my glasses, I need a magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass? No, okay, so honestly, I like to write with a fine pen. For those of you who are pen people, it's like a 0.37 or 0.3 something. Really fine tip. And I normally write in about font size
0.05.
No, it's actually.
If that were food for an ant, they would be like, what? What am I gonna do with this?
No, it's seriously like a 0.5, or I'm sorry, not 0.5. It's a font size 5 or 6 on your computer, which I'm sure if
Falsery.
you did, if you looked at, it's really small. It really is
Falsery. But we'll talk about that on the next one. I'm glad I don't have to read your notes. I type my stuff out.
But no one's ever cheated off of me.
Well.
Because they can't see it. See?
You're reaching from the highest.
Yeah, they would have to seriously be doing some work and then they would get caught. So I've never had a problem.
I'm glad we're not in the same grade.
Yeah.
Because there were times in which I was lazy and I was whatever. Alright, cool. That's what I thought anyway.
Yeah, I used to do the most with my notes. Color coordinated and everything. It was awesome.
So thank you for joining this one. We're gonna stay pretty consistent with what do we wanna call these?
They are debriefings.
Marriage counseling debriefings.
On the hot seat.
Premarital.
Yes, premarital counseling. That's
debriefings.
a lot to say.
It is. Yeah, it is. We'll figure out something shorter than that. That's too much. But yeah.
PMD. Anyways.
PM.
Premarital debriefing. PMD.
Here comes the medical nurse coming out. I'm like what? Are you like a pre-doctor? What?
Well, actually, that could be pre-med, but no. I thought it was cool.
I guess we're gonna call it the PMDs. Okay.
Obviously, I am not the one who tells jokes.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, hot C, semicolon, PMD, I guess.
Sure. Oh.
I hope people don't take that to the left. Jesus.
You know they are.
Anyways.
Especially our friends.
Yep. So thank you guys for joining. I don't have anything to say besides. I don't have anything to say. You might have something to say. I don't have anything to say rather than you can just shoot us an email for any topics. Of course, we have our own list, but if you have any questions you want us to answer or any topics you want us to talk about, please feel free. I know we're young in the game, not even married yet, but hey, it's good to have somebody else's perspective on things. Age really doesn't matter because life experiences are sometimes outweigh age. because I've gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. Like the stuff I've gone through, I should probably be 82, not 28. But it's all good. This helps me out a little bit.
I don't know about 82. That's a little.
Well, you like them old, so
60.
it doesn't matter.
Wait, you 62. Absolutely, you can be
whatever.
62.
But yeah, so you can always send us something you want us to talk about, or if you have a business and you want us to shout you out, you can do that as well. We will say right now it's for the free, but hopefully one day it'll be for the money. So that would be great. So that way we can bring more to the table,
Yes.
better background sceneries and things of that nature, and merchandise coming soon. So yeah, always shoot us an email to, remind me?
How do you never
Come on,
remember?
come on.
Life with Q Flow.
There we go. lifewithqflow@gmail.com. Again, that's lifewithqflow@gmail.com. Literally, when we say Q Flow, it is the letters Q
Yeah.
FLO, not QUE
I gotta do that
FLOW.
backwards.
Not QUE FLOW, but
No.
Q
The letter Q.
FLO. There you go. lifewithqflow@gmail.com. What you got to say?
I went to my very first musical concert and it was amazing. And so we got sweaters, we got well no, I'm sorry, not sweaters, hoodies.
There you go.
Okay. Again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we got hoodies. They're so soft. They're ridiculously soft. I love
They really
the
are.
fact that they're just so soft. And then we got these shirts. I wanted the long sleeve because, you know, it's the colder season and I'm already always cold, so yay! And they're very comfortable. This is a size small, women produce, and yes, we do. We've got the ovaries and uterus to prove it. I know.
And musically, because she is the
Yes.
one that does the beats.
So, what is it? Women produce by now.
For Toby. Wigwe,
Yes, he's
which is awesome.
cousin.
This is probably
I love it.
This is
oh my
technically
gosh.
going to be a throwback by the time this one actually gets aired
Yeah.
out. But still, if you haven't heard of him, you need to hear of him.
He's awesome.
You need to get on that Apple Music.
Him, his wife, his
Get on
friend,
SoundCloud.
all of them. Just amazing.
Truly, truly amazing people. Excellent show.
Mm-hmm.
I like what they're doing, and so we have the support.
New fan right here.
Yeah, it's what we do. Support, uplift,
Yes.
together as one. Kind of like what we talked about today.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Gotta become one so we can rise up. When we're all on the same page, have an equal goal of uplifting one another, then the cycle begins. A very, very good cycle.
Yes.
Lucrative cycle
For all.
for everyone.
Mm.
Alrighty,
I think we're done.
we're done.
Awesome.
Ali 5000. Bye-bye.
See you next time.